Well, you read that title right. Dragon Ball Final Stand Remastered dropped like 3-4 days ago roughly, and I've just kind of been playing it because it's fun. If you haven't played the OG Final Stand, then I would either recommend playing it, or you could also just check out the new game. It really depends on what you feel like doing. But yeah, this is basically the first part of the video. Go check out the game, honestly. Mostly just wanted to make this video because, well, the game wasn't announced, it was kind of shadow dropped, and I know there's like a few guides on YouTube and whatnot, but I guess I just kind of want to, you know, give the game some attention. And I just kind of felt like doing some filler content, I can't even lie. So yeah, this is a filler video. Anywho, let's just get to it. So, first things first, honestly, for a remake in general and first impressions wise, I do think Final Stand Remastered is pretty much just as good as it'll get. If you play the OG, you'll know what I'm talking about because, you know, the OG had outdated graphics. Pretty much, I would say the only differences this remaster has with the OG is, you know, the visual changes, the GUI, the sound effects. There is new content that the OG doesn't have, like the capsules. There's also just new mechanics. NPCs are different, so they're not the same as the old ones. And I suppose if you do have the Final Stand nostalgia kind of carrying you a little bit, it's essentially just 2025 Final Stand. Like, that's it really. And now, as much as I want to say the gameplay is bad, it's basically the same as OG Final Stand. So if you didn't like the bandit beating basically of like OG Final Stand, there's a big chance you don't like this game. But I can definitely say for sure that if you play this game with friends, it is quite the blast, like unironically. Even if you're trying to grind or just goofing around, it is so fun. Also, this Final Stand does seem to encourage just playing with others more because there's like a whole party system, there's raids, and even though the game came out as a remaster, it is essentially like playing a new game. So I suppose if that wasn't enough to convince you to at least try out the game, then I don't know. But even though I do love Final Stand, and I did play it before, I would say this version of Final Stand definitely has its issues, and I hope that in the future, if the game is still kicking somehow, they'll either be fixed, or, you know, at least they get some sort of band-aid, because I would say for release, these are pretty bad or discouraging for a lot of players. Like, for example, for whatever reason, there's progression loss when you die, and by this I mean you lose a percentage of your money and experience for dying. Why? I don't know. The difficulty spike is also pretty huge for like a release, I would say. Some NPCs straight up fold you in half. Others are not so bad, but you kind of are like gravely wounded in the process. And to be fair, when you get stronger, you get to fold some of the NPCs. Like, for example, I do have Super Saiyan as of the recording of this, and I can assure you guys that I can basically fold a Cyberman in half, but not a speed blitzing evil Majin, because they're actually just speed demons. And grinding is relatively tedious because apparently Snake World wants the game to be like slower paced for now. So, you know, people don't eat up the content in one go. And I mean, I do get that, but I do wish there was more hints as to some of the content, because it does seem like a chunk of the content is being gatekept for whatever reason. But, you know, I'd rather give the benefit of the doubt that at some point someone's gonna get all this juicy information and show it. And I know there's other issues that people have, but you know, despite all that, I do think there's no harm in giving it a try if you haven't already, that's for sure. If you don't like it, that's completely fine, because, you know, I do agree that there's some things that have to change. Otherwise, the game's not really gonna do as well as it could have done, right? But yeah, I guess this is just my take on Final Stand Remastered. I might make a guide or two, who knows? And yeah. And before I go, I honestly would like to see your opinion if you've played the game already, if you're checking it out for the first time and whatnot. I'm just really curious as to what you guys think, because who knows, maybe we'll get some good changes later on, who knows. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another video.